you know, as we hanging up, I'm like, I don't really want to let her go. I really don't. Like, I don't feel that a release yet. No, you didn't. What's up?
Hey, y'all.
All right, welcome to episode number 2. As you can see, we already improving. We got a little light in the background. What else we do? We figured out how to turn the camera the right way, so y'all not looking at 2 big, huge black spots when we post our videos. So how you feeling about the home buying process throughout the week?
I've actually been feeling pretty good. Everything has just been smooth sailing. Like, they'll ask for something, we send it. It's legit or above and beyond. So it's like, no problem. We're legit people. All of our stuff is cut and dry. All of our credit cards or anything that is listed on the loan is less than 30%. So I just felt like we were good. And my biggest concern was the initial closing costs. So I won't say we took care of that, but that worked out, so I wasn't really worried about that. So I was just good, in a good place, just waiting for the final, like, you know, date is set, see you there, you know?
Yeah.
How about you?
Same. I felt really confident throughout the week, but the underwriting process is kind of irritating because, like, you go days without hearing from them, or maybe even a week, and you're sitting there like, you know, chomping at the bit, trying to figure out, okay, like, you know, hey, are we good? Or especially if it's your first house, you know what I mean? And you don't really know what they're looking for, and you're not, you know, you haven't been, you know, filthy rich for the past 2 years, and, you know, things like that. So I figured that we were at the last step, and the next message that we were going to be getting was loan approved.
Right.
And your closing date is going to be on the 13th or the 14th or whatever. Like that, I was so confident that that was the next message, and I was confident that we would see it like soon, you know. And so you know, we did get a message. We did get a message from the lender, and it was not the message we were looking for at all. At all.
It started nice. She gave us the good news first.
Did she? I don't even remember how it started, because I
said the house appraised for, you know, a little more.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. I don't even know why she started with that. Like, I don't know how she started with that, but yeah. So yeah, we received some not so good news on Friday. We received an overly long email essentially telling us that our loan file had been suspended. So like,
so what does that mean?
Loan file suspended, I guess that means, you know what? I don't know what that means. I think it means, unless something happens drastic, then the loan is, you know what I mean? So I think suspended, yes, it just means that they're not looking at it anymore because it's, you know, it didn't meet a qualification. And so, man, my heart dropped when I saw that. I'm not gonna lie, because like, when you ever like been confident about something, right, and then it happened the exact opposite way, like you telling all your homeboys, and we've been telling all our homeboys, like, it's done, we are family, everybody, kids, Ariel, Evan, they both seen the house, and then you look at this message saying suspended. The word suspended just kept popping out at me. Suspended, like suspended. Like I felt like fighting.
You did?
A little bit.
Ooh.
A little bit. How'd you feel?
I felt like I got an F on the test that I did and I worked hard on. But I also felt like a fight to get it right. Like, I ain't a loser, so like, what we gotta do type of thing. So, you know?
Yeah, same. After the fight was like, I felt like fighting, but not physically. Like,
right.
Because I'm so confident. Like, I was confident that I know we heard a word that this is the season for us to get a house, period. So I wasn't even like, I'm like, okay,
right,
like, what do we got to do? But the issue was, I know I heard the word, we heard the word, but what I started doing was immediately my mind went to like, what can I do? Before I called her, before we even spoke, like I was at work, and if my dispatcher was watching, if I was working slow on Friday, that's why.
Or not working.
Yeah, you're not working at all. We're gonna edit that.
But you did. You did work.
I definitely worked.
Yeah,
I definitely worked. But
yeah,
yeah, like my first instinct was like, okay, like I'm strategizing, like, okay, I'm trying to see what angle we can take to get this thing back into an accepted mode. So the problem was that the underwriter, so like the loan officer, when she first gave us our pre-qualification and everything like that, she took my pay stub from this year and she calculated my overtime and everything like that. And then she used that number for our debt to income ratio. Problem is she did not use last year's W-2, my pay from last year, which was a little bit lower than it is this year. She didn't use that. So the underwriter used both years, and she ended up deducting my income $400 a month, which put us right over the limit for the debt to income ratio.
Oh, I thought it was $400 a week.
Oh, no, I think a month.
Okay.
I think a month. Yeah. Yeah. And so that put us, because we were right on, for the type of loan that we're getting, you have to have a 29% debt to income ratio. I think usually it's like 35, but we had to have a 29, and we were like right up under 29% with this house. And so, yeah, that put us over the limit, and then they suspended it. Because see, the underwriters, they don't care about your personal story. They don't care about your dog that died. They don't care about none of that. All they is looking at is numbers. They don't even know you. That's the whole point. Like, they don't know who you are. You don't know who they are. They don't care nothing about what you got going on. If the numbers don't work, they kick you out of the system, period. Period. They don't care what none of that. So, yeah, so after we got that email, and I sat there and pondered it to myself, and because I didn't want to call Kynesha without an idea. Like, I wanted to call her, I didn't want to call her like lost. I wanted to call her with a strategy and a plan. And so I waited a little bit. I think you actually called me. Because, like, we had this thing, like, when we see an email from the loan officer, like, we call each other right away. Usually. You get the email? Right. You get the email, like, all right, now. We got 5 minutes to send back.
Right.
So I think Kynesha ended up calling me before I actually had my plan in place. But I tried to sound like I wasn't worried. I'm like, yeah, baby, we could just, none of that was going to work. So, yeah.
I don't think the worst part was the loan suspension. For me, it was the loan processor saying that we have a way to get things right, but, it's some stuff y'all got to do. And usually the stuff that we have to do comes easy. So it's like, oh, this is nothing. Like, we can do this, send you that stuff, send you the documents.
Right, easy.
It's good. But what she was asking for, we can do. So that's where I think I felt the lowest. I wouldn't say low, but I felt a little bit of discouragement or a faith decrease. So when I called you and was talking to you, I was really looking for you for the solution, honestly, because...
And I had one, but it was wrong. It was wrong.
Usually, like, when I feel low, I'm calling you for, like, a boost. So, I don't know. I just expected you to be in a better place than I was. Yeah.
Yeah, by the time we spoke, I was in a better place. Like, because, like, the initial thing, like I said, of seeing suspended. Like, the word suspended was kind of, like, towards the end. And then she had all of these scenarios and things like that, most of which were impossible, all of which were impossible. And then I saw the word suspended. So, like, that initial feeling was, but by the time we spoke, my faith was encouraged. Like, I wasn't scared. Like, I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, what we got to do? Like, let's move some chess pieces around. I was looking at my own strength, but so, yeah, man. So, like, we were talking, and the funny thing is, we really thought, we really thought that we came up with a solution.
Right, we were definitely.
We really thought,
yeah.
and we were so wrong that it's not even funny.
So wrong that we almost hurt ourselves.
We almost, boy,
we almost made everything worse.
We actually would have had to be untruthful.
Yeah.
To do what we were planning to do. And so, like we talked about before, anything that you have to lie, cheat, steal, or disobey God in any way to get, it's not worth having, because you're gonna have to do that to keep it, and it's rotten at the root.
Yeah.
If you had to do that to get it, it was achieved by sin, and it's gonna be rotten. So, but yeah, so like, we had made up our minds that we were going to do this. I mean, we had a strategy, we had a plan, and we were going to start making some inquiries. And like, we had like a huddle, and then we were about to break. Like, ready, break. But Lumps, you said that, didn't you?
Yeah, I
like,
did.
break. And I'm like, hold on. Put it back together for a minute. Put it back together. Let's pray.
Yeah.
Because I know I didn't feel settled before while we got off the phone. I didn't feel settled. Like, we had got a little aggravated with each other because like, I explained things in a way that's so complicated. Not even complicated, just like the way my brain works. I explain it, and then like, Kynesha be like, what are you talking about? And so like, we were like aggravating each other. I'm like, baby, let's pray before we get off this phone, please. Like, let's pray. So, we prayed, I prayed, she prayed, This is a praying woman right here. I thank God, because
you are a praying man, right?
Thank you, baby. But like, God has given us both a different strength in prayer, and her strength in prayer blessed me that day. And so like, man, and so she prayed, and we prayed, and we got done praying. Hallelujah. We got done praying. Mm-hmm. And I still didn't feel released. I didn't feel released. And we were like, okay, we were saying our goodbyes. I still didn't feel, I could not let her get off the phone. I couldn't let her go. And so whenever I can't let somebody go, I do what I'm doing now. I start talking. But I started talking the word of God.
Yeah.
So we just started talking about what God has done for us in the past.
Yeah. So I think prior to the call, I text you, and I was like, do you think the house is really for us? I think that's what I said.
You did, definitely.
And that's what made you call me.
Right, that's right. Okay, I got that wrong.
And no, we've talked several times, but we got off the phone like, okay, we're gonna do this. This is before the break.
Oh, you're right.
This is before the break.
You're right.
But we had talked several times, but that final time I'm like, do you think the house is for us?
Right.
Because we were already okay, but prior to all of this, just like, if it's not for us, it's for us. If it is, boom. So it's like, what do you think the house is for us? So then you call me and like, I wanted to ask you that too, because da-da-da-da. So
when she texted me that, I was in the middle of my heart. That was on my spirit. That was on my spirit. And actually what was on my spirit was almost pulling towards like, this house just might not be for us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I can't say that to Lump though, because, man, we got a word from the prophet, and we thinking that this is our house. And I'm just thinking in my mind, like, did we hear a word concerning this house specifically?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we were both sitting there thinking. And so when she texted me, I had to call her, because I'm like, thank you, Lord, because I didn't want to have to say that, And so that's when we started making some of the strategy moves that we were about to tear up our whole life with.
Yeah.
Literally. See, man.
And like, it wouldn't have worked, period.
It wouldn't have.
At
all. It would not have worked at all. Like, it would have been laughable, actually. Like, for real. So, like I was saying, after we got finished praying, I didn't feel released, even though she prayed. I didn't feel settled. I didn't feel a peace. I felt that we were forcing it. we were trying to force it in our own strength. And I'm like, wait, we didn't get here forcing it.
Right.
So let's think about what God has done for us already.
And
we started
so good.
Yeah. So we just started talking about, like, God really filled my mouth. Like, we just started talking about what he did prior to this and how every time we've had to move, he's made provision for us, and we've never had to like make it happen on our own, ever. And so by the time we got finished talking, what had we decided?
You were just gonna email the loan officer and tell her, like, pretty much like we're good.
Yeah.
Or like, if it doesn't work out, then we're okay with letting it go. I think that's how it went.
That's exactly how it went. I was gonna like after we had both came to an agreement, and I had a peace in my heart, and I believe you did too.
Yeah.
Like, I was gonna email the loan officer and say, you know, is there any other thing, any other way that this can work out? And if not, I was gonna be 100% okay walking away.
Yeah.
And being here for another few months or doing what we had to do. I was okay. I had such a peace in my heart. But I think that's where God wanted us, because in that moment is when we got an email that it had been worked out. It had been worked out. All of the striving that we were trying to do, all of the, you know, trying to dig and scrape. And once we released that and we really just truly said, you know what, God, I'm satisfied with whatever you have for me. I don't need this house. I do need you though.
Yeah.
I need to be in your will. I don't need to be, you know what I'm saying? And as soon as we really truly, because we were there before, but he had to test us to make sure that that's really where we were. Right. And that was a test. And we were there. Like, I'm still in my heart right now. Like, I feel such a peace in my heart because that happened, because they suspended that file. And so, yeah, in that moment, literally, like, we were still on the phone. We were still talking on the phone, and like,
no, we were about to hang up.
We was about to hang up, and
like, you were looking at your phone to press the end button, and then it was just
is the email like, hold on, wait a minute, like, and it had just came in right when we were about to leave. We were leaving in peace, knowing that I was fixing to email this lady and tell her that we good. And as I looked at my phone, and again, I still didn't feel comfortable releasing her yet. That's the thing. I still felt like I had to hold her, but like, I feel that often I don't be wanting to, like, you know, but I'm like, you know, as we hanging up, I'm like, I don't really want to let her go. I really don't. Like, I don't feel that a release yet. No, you didn't. Here's the blessing in this. Not only did he work the situation out, but he worked the situation out, and we're going to be paying less money than before. Now, this don't make no sense, y'all. She's supposed to be helping me edit this video. Over here slobbing on my, look at this. Over here slobbing on my shoulder. Don't make no sense.